What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Ken and Ross presented. Yeah, I said it podcast. We're expressing our full capabilities to the ones in correctional facilities, and for the first time this year, I don't feel like that's a reality for us, at least at this moment. Brainchild of my child, I am the dad half of this operation, Ross Cooper. As always, I am rocking with the best, coming to you loud and public, if you will. But please introduce yourself to the folks.
Yeah, I was good, everybody. Everybody having a good day, month, yeah, or second, all that good stuff. You watching other platforms, please share with your friends and families. Bug on the wall, aliens outside, mailman, and garbage man, spaceship, all that. If you're watching on the YouTube, please like, share, comment, subscribe, because if you don't, car gonna drive over a bridge.
It's just, is there a reason for the wintry background, sir? Are we in Chernobyl?
Not yet. Nah.
Like, is this a code? Is this like a Kendrick type metaphor for winter is coming? Game of Thrones? I don't know. I don't know. I just figured I'd bounce it off you.
No code, no nothing. Just the background I saw it and picked.
That's what's up. Oh, small correction on my part. My apologies. I got to take some smut off the name of the glorious Empire State. Miss Racist that called a kid an N-word and raised a whole bunch of money. That was Rochester, Minnesota, not Rochester, the glorious Empire State. So, woof, take some smut off the name of the great state of New York. Hey, you got to do corrections, man. Got to do corrections. I don't want to throw slander on Rochester, New York. Shout out to Rochester. Shout out to the Rock. Um, we're gonna dive right in. This is gonna be a blackety black show in a lot of ways, a lot of things to smile about. The motherland is getting it together. But first off, we're gonna go Luigi. So Luigi Mangione, as we all know, is accused of offing the CEO of United Healthcare. Well, lo and behold, apparently they are under investigation for fraud. And this goes back to the conversation we had on last pod, versus Luigi versus the other gentleman who ran over the officer. Luigi went for the head of the snake. And it appears it may be a snake indeed. A Medicare fraud? Medicare fraud. Wow. How low are you? You defraud the government? How low are you? Really?
Welcome to hell, brother.
I just I am not saying what Luigi did was right.
But
What I am saying is good luck finding 12 jurors. The most interesting piece of this entire puzzle is going to be jury selection because the CEO of United Healthcare was unalive. United Healthcare is notorious for denying coverage, and now it's found that you might be involved in Medicare fraud. Good luck.
wonder if I'll
Good
be
luck.
old so. All right, but yeah.
I'm just their stock price has fallen by half of what it was over the course of this year. The CEO has now stepped down. Wow.
How much
If
$1 million he get, or he or she?
Hey, and I don't when you step down, I don't necessarily know if you get severance. Like you didn't retire. It's not like a retirement. You basically step down in lieu of being fired. So it was basically a meeting that says, "Hey, you probably need to go away, or we're going to make you go away."
And they usually pay them. That's how it works.
See, I always thought that was like if you're doing a great job and you're just tired of doing said job, hey, I'm just gonna step down. I'm gonna get me a golden parachute, and that's gonna be that. But you could be right. Like, hey, we're gonna pay you a few million to go away.
Yeah, a few hundred million depending on the company. But yeah,
But yeah, from wow. It's a crazy time we're living in, man, because again, I'm curious how jury selection is going to go, and good luck finding 12 people that are going to be on fire about convicting Luigi if they can. Like I said, you got to prove it. And all we know it was a dude with a hoodie on, and he blasted CEO on the back. I don't know what other evidence. I think they said they found the gun and the clothes on Luigi. So there's that. You better have a dear New York State. You better have a smoking gun. Because if you don't, if there is any possible loophole, you're not getting a conviction. You're not getting a conviction. Is that right? Air quotes up for debate. Because again, as a company, you have the highest denial rate, and now you got the U.S. government sniffing around for possible Medicare fraud. I'm not saying I'm saying this, but I am sure there are some people thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe Luigi took the trash out.
Not really,
Now,
but good sentiment.
how could you do? Well, how could you disagree with that sentence? How could you disagree with that?
Bro, one snake, five more, grow back. Like, stop it. Like, if you think Med United Healthcare is the only one doing dirt, then you live in La La Land. I need whatever you smoke. But yeah, nah. Like I said, they replaced them the next day.
Here's okay. I think I see where you're going. You don't you don't tear a dam down by blowing it up with a cannon.
No,
Sometimes you got to tear a dam down by bit at a time, bit at a time, and all of a sudden it springs leaks, and enough leaks, and then the dam comes down. So, because what nobody thinking about United Healthcare up until this happened, for real.
well, I wouldn't say that. But probably on an individual level, you are when you get denied. But yeah, on a grand national scale, probably not. But as individuals who probably have the shit, have the stuff, I was
Yeah.
thinking about after being denied.
See, we most people when you ask them about corruption, they think about politicians, right? They think about how corrupt the political system is, and rightfully so.
I mean, that's true. You're right.
Rightfully so. Like I think the average American skips over the politicians being in corporations' pocket. I think that gets skipped over. The only time we hear about corporations and corruption, quote unquote, is during election seasons, and you start following the money to see what company donated to which politician. And oh wow, what an amazing thing! This law suddenly gets passed. So yeah, this has been a bad year for United Healthcare. It's been a really bad year.
Good.
Worst year for the guy who got killed. But from a company standpoint, you lose your CEO, the next CEO steps down, your stock price gets cut in half, and you are under this mega spotlight because now it's pretty much common knowledge you deny, well, everybody. And I'd really like a Luigi book. I hope he's got access. No. I'm just kidding. Hey, wait. Before you laugh, remember, this is the same country that was captivated with a Jeffrey Dahmer biopic for like months. So
That's still funny too.
for completely different, well, I don't see the humor, but for completely different
I
reasons.
do. Because how many black serial killers get love like this?
That's the good part here. You start you can count black serial killers on one hand.
Maybe more than that, but they don't get it's not the same. So Luigi, no shot at him. He fits a certain mold. He
Well,
allegedly off someone, even though it was Robin Hood in intention. If it was allegedly him, it was all alleged.
right,
So,
allegedly. You gotta say allegedly. Hmm.
so yeah, you fit a good description, and you did something quote unquote noble, depending on where you stand. Yeah,
Okay.
fine. Yeah, you can get a book. Yeah.
No, no, no.
Here's the
Louis,
book on
Louis.
the saw. What do you need a book for? You clearly if allegedly if it was him, you clearly mapped out the reason why you wanted to do it. I don't need a book to read and know what was your mindset that your parents got denied or grandparent whatever it was, and now he's like, all right, I need vengeance. There you go. I'm gonna make how many chapters I'm gonna write of that?
Mein Kampf is a pretty thick book. That's what I'm saying. Mein Kampf is a really
I
thick
don't
book.
need. I'm sorry. I don't need to read a book about if he alleged, well, I say all alleged, if he did do it and why he did it. I'm pretty sure majority of people who are in that situation want to do the same thing, but just ain't going to do it.
But I beg to differ, but you do. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna paint the picture, then we'll move. But real quick, hypothetically, let's say he goes to trial, right? I'm gonna use OJ. Hypothetically, let's say he goes to trial, he beats the case. Double jeopardy prevents him from being prosecuted. It cannot be bumped up to federal because it's not a federal crime. So if he walks on this, he walks. He could, in theory, right, and this is the part I'm curious about. We've all we've all had issues with a boss. We've had issues with a company or a decision they made that has pissed us off. It is a leap to go from, you know what, I can't stand this company, I'm just gonna get into an insurance company, to, you know what, I'm gonna sit down, plot, map out, and murk the CEO to send a message. That's a that's a different it's a different thing. So I'm because worst case scenario, if I had a surgery or something coming up and they said no, we're not going to cover it. Well, my next call is to Aetna. My next call is to a different medical insurer. It is not going to cross my mind. Hmm. What would be really, really, really cool? Well, no, really send a message. Let me go off the CEO. Let me go map out the whereabouts. Get a mail gun. Yeah, yeah, that's a different thing. That's a book I'm curious of because that's a leap. That is a leap to go from I'm gonna just call I'm gonna call Aetna. No, I'm not gonna call Aetna. I'm going to off the CEO of the company, not an employee, not the person I spoke to on the phone, the CEO. So what you saying? If Luigi wrote a book, you're not gonna read it?
No.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you because that would be an interesting book.
For
Just to,
you. For you. Congratulations.
oh
You-
my good. Okay. All right. All right. I hope we get a book out of it. What we don't need is a movie. Like that's doing too much. Like I don't need to. Well, there can't be a movie anyway. There's never been an OJ movie, so there can't be a movie. But
Got Family
yeah,
Guy. But yeah. Yeah. Guess we'll see what happens.
I mean he's got. It's just this is a widely publicized case. Unless you're trying to move the case to Iowa, sorry Iowa, you got to catch another strike. Unless you want to move this case to Iowa, I don't think there's anywhere you can put it where someone doesn't know about it. And I'd be more concerned, like if you could find 12 people who have no knowledge of this, I'm a lot more concerned.
When does the trial start? Because we have another big case that everyone's focused on. So when does the Luigi case start? Is it after
I
or
haven't
during?
even, I haven't even heard I haven't even heard about jury selection yet.
Oh, so this is a long time ago. Okay, so they smart. They're not going to do. Well, actually, they probably would be smart to do it now because everyone's focused on the diddler. But uh,
That's that's just been a nightmare. That's just been a nightmare.
Man, if that all that stuff is true, he a sick mother. But yeah, uh,
Oh
what I
gosh,
said.
there's an I can't even say an unpopular opinion. I'll say there's a very interesting thing floating around, and when you remove the feeling of it, it tracks. Look,
Oh boy, don't say what I
given,
ain't gonna say.
I mean, I think you know where I'm going here. Given what the charges are, there's a chance he walks. Now, it doesn't negate that he's a piece of shit, but can you prove racketeering and conspiracy? And it's just him. Racketeering
No,
requires a few
it's
other
not.
people.
It ain't just him. But
Yeah,
like I said, the
but
trial just started. I mean, I know Cassie seems like that was their red button, but no, I think that was to get you started. And if you were fed, the feds will have what, 98% or 96% conviction rate or something?
Mhm.
They come at you. They're not just, they come at you with real stuff to make sure this lands.
It's like lying to your parents. Like they already know the answer. They're just gonna see if you can cop to it.
Pretty much. So it's like, this is the first, what, couple of days? Not everyone has been
It's
there.
been a week. I think it's been a week.
Okay, for a week. This is gonna be a long trial, and there's gonna be a lot of witnesses, and from what I'm hearing, they're bringing out bodyguards, other acquaintances, and like I said, there's probably more names that will be dropped and named. So we'll see what happens then. But if he walks, Cassie, you better move. Oh yeah, move. Anyone that gets
No,
named that goes against him, move.
I just don't. I don't think. No, because his reputation. Here's what we do know for sure. He's an abusive, freaky ass boy. That's all. That's the only thing we know for sure.
Yeah,
So, and his
but
reputation is now trash. You have no brand deals, no business partners. Even if he walks, no one. I'm not. I'm not doing business with you. After everything I know, I'm not doing. I'm not having that connected to my brain. So he's done. Even if he doesn't go to jail, you're done.
which is why you probably should move because you have nothing to lose. So yeah, that's
Like,
more
ain't
dangerous. So
like unless I own a lube company, there is no partnerships. No, I can't see any way to do a partnership with you, Mr. Combs. That's about it. That's about it. So, but yeah, and as per usual, I haven't been paying super close attention. It's in my periphery. I just know there's a lot of people who I would not want around a daughter if I had one. Like, no, absolutely not. There's a lot of commentary that's just really eyebrow raising, and I'm like, y'all might want to be quiet a little bit. But
no, speak up. So we know who you are. But yeah,
but yeah, I'd thumb through a Luigi book because again, I'm me, and yeah, if I had a health condition that was declined, I'm just gonna call a different insurer. It's not gonna cross my mind to actually sit down, map out, and plot out how to how to get rid of the CEO. Like that's next level thinking there.
he didn't
Uh,
do it for him though. That's the difference. He did it for a family member.
same, same. Like I
Not to say because I'm sure there's more lengths you willing to take for someone else you care about than you are yourself for certain things that you would take to more extreme than you would if it happened to you versus if it happened to yourself. Because you already cop to it when it comes to me or your wife, whatever. So yeah, there is certain people. I agree with you in my life that I will probably do more extreme things for than I would for myself. True. Now, offering the CEO is that one? I don't know.
I never want to find out. Like
I don't either.
this is pretty much John Q come to life.
Yeah.
No, pretty much John Q come to life. But yeah, I good luck finding 12 people with no knowledge of this and don't already have a bias. Because remember, All you need is one. Even if you found 11 people that think Luigi's a piece of crap for doing this, he's a cold-blooded killer. It only takes one.
You find 12
And
people that do that because there's more than 12 people that think he's a monster.
really, that is not the sentiment I'm seeing at all. Like, it's not even,
There
I
is.
haven't found one person.
Oh, wow,
One.
that's a lie. I definitely seen people say, "Well, yeah, this is not the way." So if it's the people that says that's not the way, then they will say he's guilty. So even if they get the sense of it, they're going to, but they're saying it's too far. That's enough to say, yeah, it's too far. So you still need to go sit down. That's all you need. And it's 12 people. What,
If
200 something or 500 million people here, whatever. You can find 12 people that think that he's guilty. Even though they're supposed to think he, be impartial, but you know.
if this were federal and your jury pool was national, I think you're right. This is New York State. Good luck. I would not want to be prosecuting this case. I'd hate to be the prosecutor in this case. I'm just, I don't know what angle you take, and that's why I'm not a lawyer. But good luck convincing 12 people. You got to somehow just focus on the actual crime and separate it from the reason, and that's going to be hard to do.
What we're there for. And then, like you said, if they have a smoking gun, that's all you need.
See, this doesn't happen in a vacuum. And if I'm defense attorney, if I'm his defense attorney, oh boy, again, I just got to turn on one juror. And you know the public sentiment. And now you couldn't ask for a bigger assist than the company itself being accused of fraud
Yeah, that
of
don't help.
money.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, they should have got this over with because now,
Like,
if it's
and I'm not
true,
cutting.
look,
And because of the nature of the crime, you can't cut a deal. It's
they
like
already did.
you can't offer him a deal.
They already did. I thought he declined.
I've not heard that because New York State does not have the death penalty. So it's one thing to say, hey, you take a plea, we'll take the death penalty off the table. It's not on the table to begin with.
I might be thinking of another case. I might be thinking, never mind, thinking something else.
Right. So I'm like, I'm just if he walks, oh my God, which makes me nervous because if he walks from the elite's standpoint, that's a problem. That's a problem. Like this ain't OJ getting off. This is different. This is way different.
Isn't
You know, and the last thing you need is copycats and people getting ideas. Like for real getting ideas.
people already have ideas. Not smart. But yeah, I mean, if he walks, I mean, it could be a technicality that it really wasn't him. It was someone else. Then what? Got the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Still
You
out
gotta
there
you
lurking.
gotta find 12 New Yorkers who are some of the most aware people on the planet to separate the feeling from the crime.
All right,
New
get some
York.
elite. Get 12 elite people from New York, from Manhattan. Here
That's not gonna work. You're not. It's not gonna work.
Why not? There you go.
It's not gonna work
You
at
12 people that
all.
live in them high rises. Boy, they will not care. Yeah.
It's just I can't wait to see the defense. That I don't really care about this Diddy trial much at all. Like whatever. The Luigi trial is where it's at. The Luigi trial is where it's at. That's what I want to know. Because one, how you possibly get one, jury selection is huge, and two, how do you get a conviction? Like again, you got to separate crime from motive, and that's a weird thing to have to do in and of itself. Because usually, like hypothetically, in a typical murder trial, well, here's the motive. They got into it. They tossed some shit online. You went after them in the alley. There you go. You have to separate crime from motive on this. I,
I mean, they do it all the time. Like you don't see people who rightfully either self-defended themselves or whatever, still got convicted because they didn't care about the reason. They just cared about what happened. Like we saw that, especially with the girl,
you're right.
who I think
You're right.
was in New York. I might be mistaken. I don't remember what state. But yeah, like you kill your abuser, your literal abuser, still get time.
Yeah, that's insanity. You're right,
Right. So that's why I said they can do it. We've seen it happen. If anyone should walk from that, it should be someone in that situation, right?
bro.
But nope, they didn't. So that's why I said I don't think it's as hard as you think it is, my guy.
All right. So, because I'm thinking again, you got 12 jurors, you just need one to not. What's just ballpark? What's your percentage that you think he gets convicted? Because mine is right now sitting at about a good 30 to 40. It's over to me. It's overwhelming that he does not. What's your percentage in that?
80.
You have an 80. You think is there 80% chance he gets convicted?
Yeah, because even if he is truly innocent, they still need to make an example out of him. So yeah,
You do that, you make a mockery of the justice system, sir.
has that stopped them before?
This ain't the 50s where you got brothers on trial for smacking white people.
That doesn't matter. Have they done this before? The justice, you make it a mockery of the justice. We make a mockery of this damn country. So I don't care. They don't care. If examples need to be made, it will be made. And what you gonna do about it? Exactly. Yeah, like no, you out there with picket signs ain't hurting me. So, not me. I'm saying dumb for them. So yeah, they don't care. They trying to they like you said they buffed up their security and all that stuff. Yeah, it won't be even surprising they just wipe people's names from CEOs of companies and stuff. So who knows? Stuff is in order. Justice will be served. Order will be maintained.
And maybe that's me being a bit naive, but it's just, I think these are some very tense times. And what you don't want, I think this country is a lot closer to the edge than a lot of people would care to admit. What you don't want is to be the thing to give it that push.
I don't think this will be it.
I absolutely think this would be it.
I
I
think
absolutely think that given the magnitude of everything that's going, I absolutely people are fed up of elites. Like legit, people are fed up of elites and
they're
elitism and
not.
billionaires. People are fed up.
It's different because it's not a fed up because I despise you. It's fed up because it's not me. That's different. That's not really you fed up because if you were one, you wouldn't care. Like, so yeah, the goal is to be that. And then I'm mad at y'all from stopping me from being that. That's a different mentality versus I don't want to be that. I still hate you. There's not a lot of people that are in that category. That's why I said, no, those are two different mentalities.
I think with the level of media and information we now have access to under normal circumstances, I would say 10 years ago, you're right. Current day though, like I think people are fed up. I think people have connected the dots. I think, lo and behold, a good chunk of Americans have grown not a conscience, but awareness. I think this last election tells us a lot. Like, there's a lot of people that are not okay with tax dollars funding dead kids. There's a lot of people not okay. A lot of people making a lot of noise. Now, could be my algorithm, not sure. But
Yes.
I'm seeing a lot of people not okay with the nonsense that's going on.
Yeah. You said Brahmin kids. Yeah, I don't think anyone's okay with that outside of people doing it. So even the most pro MAGA and all that is against that. So that don't mean nothing. That they're not aware. They're still, you know, wear a hat to school. So yeah, it's just wear a helmet to school. So yeah, it's just I don't people are not aware as you think. And plus, you see it in real time how easily distract and I can't be the one to talk with ADHD, but how easy it is to be distracted with just a simple breaking news or whatever, or something that don't really matter. It's easy. You got Diddy trial. You can do the Angel versus Caitlyn thing now.
That's
You
that. I
got the
mean, that's
race stuff. You got the gender. Like it's so easy to distract people, even in critical moments. And in this time, this day and age, it's to the point now. I'm starting to really, really believe. I know it was a joke saying, the FBI, CIA just be having bot accounts and just be starting. I'm starting to really believe that's a real thing. Like whenever people are starting to pay attention to something they ain't supposed to, I swear, like clockwork, something else just pops up out of nowhere that takes everybody's attention away. Maybe that's just me, but it just seems, hey, there's a pattern happening, and when there's jokes, there's some truth in jokes. So hey,
I just, yeah, I will say I don't think there's any point in history that people have been more awake, aware, and woke. I do think while there's more people awake, aware, and woke, they're they're still the minority. I think the vast majority of people in this country are still obsessed with either survival or those that are just above the survival line are way too obsessed with bullshit, which goes back to what you just mentioned. Those that can be easily distracted. And again, I'm aware the bubble I exist in might be a little different because the conversations you and I have on this platform and off of it, I have a group of people that I can have similar conversations with, but I'm starting to think maybe I'm just lucky.
you are
So,
not
so
too
that's
many,
why I'm like,
not too many people I can talk to like this. So yeah, all right.
and again, and not to make it a race/gender thing, but sadly, I understand how fortunate I am to have a black men to talk about this with because my sad reality is the vast majority of black male conversations revolve around three things and they're pretty useless. I think I've said this before. Talking to most brothers, just if it ain't about money, bitches, and sports,
One of them
eh,
is
that's it. You want to talk about your sports team, you want to talk about getting in the bag, how many y'all you can make this money, and your sports team. And I'm like, that's really hollow right now. That's really hollow right now. Like it's one of those things that it'll serious out the conversation really quick, and you'll find out what you're dealing with. Like, hey, instead of Jordan versus LeBron, there's dead kids in Palestine. What you think about that?
I don't know that, but conversations.
You
I mean,
know,
there's a time and a place for that, but I get what you're saying.
because I'm like, seriously, now I will say this one is a me thing. My thought process about certain things has definitely changed. Now, I understand it is a me thing, but it just so many things are so trivial now. Having a near death experience changes it. Seeing the world on a grander scale changes it. Like, I don't care about bags and cars and goofy shit. There's people dying right now. Like, legit. Anytime I buy something, I got to pay tax on it. You know that tax dollar goes to a bomb to kill a kid. Th- That bothers me. It bothers me more that I can't do anything about it. It bothers me more that the list of the group of people who want to do something about it is as small as it is. It bothers me that we can't do something collectively. It bothers me that last November, neither candidate really gave a shit.
That's normal. But yeah. I mean, all this is normal to be honest with you, but welcome to
So I can't care about if Jordan is better than LeBron or not, but so much. Eh, eh.
we need distractions and entertainment. It's entertainment,
It's, gosh.
not to entertain.
Yeah. It's just I think I mentioned this on the show, and you know this, for a stretch of time, I think I went a good 3 or 4 years with no television. That meant I only watched things on my phone, and that meant everything I watched was intentional. Grab a TV now, and it will shock you. Two things will shock you. The first thing is just how much stuff we are sold. Buy this thing, buy this thing, buy this thing. You need this thing, gotta go get this thing. You don't want to be left out, go get this thing. If you want to feel safe, go get this thing. Like it is amazing how much crap is pushed on us. And then the other thing that's been slowly happened, it was weird back in the 80s and early 90s when we started paying for water. Like the planet is literally 70% water. And somebody says, you know what? We're gonna put some in a bottle and charge you for it. And we was like, I bet. So we're literally at a point in life where we're paying for water, right? The thing that no one's noticed, and it is very, as you would say, Kanan voice, diabolically genius. It is amazing how we have to pay for our time now. It's my time. Here's what I mean. No one thinks about it, but the fact that you now have to pay extra for ad-free things, or you click on sites and it'll start, and the preview will start in 10 seconds, 20 seconds. How much time are we spending cumulatively either being bombarded with crap, or how much money do we have to pay extra to not be? It is insulting that I have to pay a company extra to not bombard me with a whole bunch of crap that I'm not going to buy anyway.
I mean, you already was with commercials. It's just now everything's streaming and all that. So they had to put in the commercial and the advertising somehow make that money, which is how they make the money. But
That was the cool part about when Netflix hit, or when, like, I don't have to watch a commercial. Again, I don't have to watch any commercials. I can just watch my show. Boom, watch my show. Nope, not anymore.
like we were
Every
already cooked.
service.
I said we were already cooked when we had to pay for air. So there you
Wait,
go.
what?
We had to pay for air. So there you go. Airing your tires and stuff. You gotta pay for. Oh, there's some places
Oh
where
wow.
you gotta
Yeah,
pay for
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Hey, how am I paying for? How am I paying for that? But then again, you really much
Hey,
pretty much paying. You pay for when you dead. You gotta pay all that. You pay for when you were alive. I mean, you gotta start paying for your life since you were born, basically. Where your parents start
well,
off, then you start off, and then you die, and then someone else has to take off whatever you pay for that. So yeah, that's how it is.
I'm literally paying for my own time. I am paying you to not advertise crap that I don't need to be.
You don't know that.
I'm with you. Daniel's voice. I'm the only one that knows.
Are you? Because if it didn't work, they wouldn't do it.
I'm the only one. The toughest choices require the strongest wills. Like, what the hell?
Well, Thanos
I
that
guess
bad? Bad?
no. I'm just gonna have to reduce my membership and not pay for the ad free version. Apparently,
Bombarded you go.
I, just, I have a Hulu subscription because I love Sons of Anarchy, and I'm like, I'm just not gonna pay for the ad free. I'm not doing it.
And they do
And
ads every what, 10 minutes? Yeah.
ironically, not Hulu's not bad with the ads. Hulu is. I watched the entire series, Sons of Anarchy again, and I was like, oh my god, it wasn't that bad. It was like 30, 45 seconds of commercials. I'm like, all right, I can live with that. I can do
Oh.
that.
See, your Hulu must be good down there in Texas, because when I had Hulu with no with the ads, I swear it was every 10 minutes. It wasn't no 30 seconds, a minute and 30. So yeah. Must be
See
nice.
that? That's what you do is you just use that as a bathroom break. And by the time you come back, oh, okay, show's back on.
The bath for every 10 minutes. What am I drinking? 2 gallons per 10 minutes? Like, what are we doing?
Okay, all right. Listen. Moving forward to the black people, to the first part of the blackity black piece of this show today. Um, Give it up. Happy birthday to what would have been Malcolm X's 100th birthday. Um, Ranks right up there in my probably top three as far as black luminaries, black revolutionaries. Um, it's sad that a lot of what he said in the 1960s is still true today. What immediately comes to mind is how Black women are the most disrespected people in the country. Unfortunately, that is still the case now.
Shout out to that statue.
You sure?
Hmm?
You sure? Sure about that?
Yeah. Hey, you see, do I have a problem with people doing all this shit? Of course. But I like things. I don't like surprises. I don't think you know this. I don't like surprises at all, even if it's a good one. So for me to not be surprised who you are, if you just reveal who you are right off the rip, no matter your race, even if you look like me, you just on some hating black women shit. Thank you.
Because it's just an experience that Black women have in this country, and it can be, it's not always, it can be a sad one. It can be a sad one. And I try my hardest to enhance the experience when I come in contact with Black women. This Diddy case is an interesting referendum because again, you I'm not gonna go to a long diatribe. I'll just simply say this. It amazes me the blind spot that way too many Black men have when it comes to dealing with Black women. You're literally asking Black women to engage with their one natural predator. And that sounds like, oh my God, what are you talking about? When you look at Black femicide, um, by and large, it's brothers. When you look at what lands Black women in jail, by and large, it's killing a partner for capital crimes, that is. So, yeah, we still got a ways to go, Brother Malcolm. I thought from the 60s to now, we've made a little bit more progress, and we have made some progress. But we got a little ways to go. We got a little ways to go.
Long ways to go. No progress. So yeah,
What do you mean no progress?
progress that we make within our own community.
Um, Black men, by and large, overwhelmingly, when they marry Black women.
That's always been the case. That's not progress. So name another statistic that makes progress. It's always been the case. That I know why. I know it's a new thing that interracial marriage. No, it's been the case since our existence that most races marry and have kids within their own race. That's never changed. So that's not progress. That's keeping this shit the same. So where's the progress?
We
Hmm,
we have dispelled the myth of absentee Black fathers per se. Black fathers have been shown to spend the most time with their children when they're at home.
that's always the case too. That's the myth. That myth is based off racism. So that I don't care about that. Where is the real progress that has some real value?
Well, what? Okay, so because I'm taking shots at the dark. What do you mean by that? Like what
You saying
metric or
stuff that
what?
already been a thing though. That's not progress. If you keeping stuff the status quo, where's the progress? Progress is things getting better. The fact that we just started off this whole thing about stuff not changing, the stuff that he was talking about was stuff that was horrible. What's changed? You already said about nothing changed. So you can't say nothing changed, and we have this huge problem within our community, and then say, well, things are progress. How? What do you score 3 points and then give up 50? Like, what is this?
You got me. I mean, taking those two things into account, but no, you.
It's been the case. That's
The
been
reason I'm saying, and I kind of just jumped at it. The reason I said is progress is because things ain't as bad as they were in the '60s when he said this. So I took that to me. I took that as progress.
okay. So the openly racist and segregation is not here. That's the progress, right? Because that's the only thing that's changed. And then the openly racist thing is starting to come back. So
So, like I said, I guess my question: what does progress look like to you?
Not
Like
this.
beyond the racist part, because that's not something we control. Would you say the relationships, the relations, and the connections between black men and women has gotten better? Wouldn't you say that?
No, I think it's the
No.
same, if not worse. Or at best the same, at worst worse. But statistically, it's about the same. It just seems worse because of internet. But yeah, and a small percent rise in interracial stuff, but it's still the minority. So yeah, we in the status quo at best. That's not progress. That's just going straight.
Uh, So the fact that the forces that try to tear apart black people, try to tear apart black children, black families are still persistent, but our black families have stuck together. That's not progress to you?
Oh, if they stuck together, do worse stuff. Worse stuff.
I'm trying to think of what metric I could give you. Like, I honestly don't know. I'm trying to think of what metric I could use to say, hey, things are gotten better in the last 60 years.
I
You
mean,
know,
from your personal view, in your bubble and outside your bubble, does it look like the relationship between us has gotten better personally?
in a minimally, and here's what I mean. Um, More brothers are having tougher conversations. More brothers are understanding, hey, this thing called patriarchy and misogyny, and there's a lot of brothers who want to tear it down. Myself, a few others I talked to. So, in that regard, the mechanism that can oppress women definitely oppresses black women. We are talking about that as being a problem and how it needs to be dismantled. And that was not a conversation until just recently at all. And it is still a ridiculous blind spot for a lot of men and black men in particular. I mean, black men as well, because look at anytime you bring up Cloud's example, I ain't even got to go far. The fact that Mr. Beige Rage himself, Chris Brown, and the Canadian Cannoli are both talking about free Tory lanes.
Not the only one. I mean, it's even sisters talking about that. That's why I said there is a huge disconnect in certain stuff and certain issues still, if not getting worse. But statistically, in terms of like relationships, marriage, and all that, marriage and having kids is the bar. That's always been the same for every race, not just us. So
I mean, look, if you want to say reduce Tory sentence because 10 years for having a blicky is excessive, I'm inclined to hear you. But free Tory? You know what?
they usually say free
Use them.
Tory and they attack Meg. That's my problem. You want to say free Tory, knock yourself out. But what you attack Meg for?
I mean, those two things are related to me. Like, you can't. You talking about a sister that tried to cover for his ass. If everybody remembers, she actually tried to cover for his goofy ass.
Nah,
But
selective memory. Side is.
and I'm just like, how you loud and just wrong? Because it's not that you said it. It's Chris Brown saying it. It's Drake saying it. Like, the Dusty that live in their mom's basement saying it, whatever. But when you got other, mega celebrities saying it's like what you're essentially doing is middle finger to Meg.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah. See, that's that. See, yeah, inside racial joke. That's that light skin energy. But okay, okay, Chris. Okay, Aubrey. This is why we don't like you.
Nah, there's more reasons we don't like it.
Yeah, oh yeah. Here's a list.
Mostly Drake. I mean,
Say Drake.
I don't care for Chris Brown like that. Like I said,
I mean, it's just Chris Brown is a cautionary tale. You're just about old enough to remember, but people slightly younger than you may not. They have not experienced the magnificence of Michael Jackson, and the closest we got is a glimpse of that was Chris. From a talent perspective, from a dancing perspective, like the closest we got to MJ was Chris. And then Rihanna happened.
Yeah, that's what kind of killed it.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing. Not really. Because look, I'm not by no means on doing it, but they've both said this was a joint fight.
Yeah, man.
And the fact that you driving a Lambo or whatever high powered sports car at the time, now is not the time to be swinging on me while I'm driving something that can go 180 miles an hour. Not the time.
Crazy how
Not the time.
the tone changed for this one because you had the exact
No, no,
opposite.
no, 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 no. See, here's the problem. So even though they both cop to that, it's joint for it's double technical. All right, double technicals. The problem we have is everything he's done since then.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why I
That's
said.
the problem.
Yeah. I think that was a chink in the armor that hurt because there's a lot of people that still just hold that. They might not even know about the other stuff he did because they cut him off after that. So
Yeah.
yeah, he ain't
But
know himself.
I'm just like, dog, you,
He ain't know himself.
right. You're your own worst enemy. You're your own worst enemy.
Yep.
And then you want to be street, and then you want to start doing diss tracks, and then I'm just like, bruh, Michael freaking Jackson, a one of one. Having your name mentioned in the same sentence is an honor. And you pissed it all away because you wanted to be a nigga. Salute. Salute. You got your nigga pass. You went to jail, got tatted up. Michael Jackson. Okay. Like, okay. Okay. But no, circling back to where we started, I'd have to find you a metric that shows we're better than we were before. That what Malcolm said about black women is not exactly the same truth right now, but I don't know what metric I could give you to make that the case.
If you
You
want to
know,
use the metric of black women being the most highly educated people, I think, and that's cool for them. Yeah, that's great. But as a whole, if you want to do us together, I don't know what has changed.
um, and like I said, it's hard to quantify because it's like at no point as look, being black in this country comes with inherent risk. And our families are still there. We survived the crack era. We survived, I was about to say black codes. That too, that's a long time ago. But surviving the crack era and the war on drugs and all of the laws and mandatory sentencing, like we survived all that. That counts for something.
Yeah, but it also did a whole lot of damage that we do
Agreed.
still feel to this day. So yeah, we survived it, but we on what 2 HP right now.
You stupid. I mean, here's the thing. And I understand it's not the greatest of metrics, but there are black billionaires, there are black millionaires, there are those of us that are doing well, running our own businesses, so on and so. So if you want to talk about it from the terms of commerce, we are doing exceptionally well as opposed to before. We're doing exceptionally well. Now, I know you and I don't count that for what else, but the reality of it is this is America, money talks.
Mhm.
And there's a good amount of black folk that are financially okay.
But as a medium, the average household is not doing it.
Well, that part hasn't changed. As we talked about, I think I mentioned in the last show, black people are collectively wealthy but individually poor. But at least we're collectively wealthy at this point.
Are we? If the medium is below the poverty line, how is that? How are we collectively wealthy? Unless you're just
because
adding up the totals of the few that really made it.
no, the black no no no. The problem is not the lack of black dollars per se. Like if you look at the problem is where we spend it. The black dollar or black spending power is notorious.
Yeah, that's
Who
always been the case. We the
make
highest
some of
spending,
these brands rich, make these brands famous?
and
Us.
yet we're still under them for the median, which is the average, under the poverty line. How does that add up? We spend the most, and yet we're one of the most brokers in the country. That don't make sense. Or actually, it
It,
does
it,
make
it
sense. It does
I
make
want to say it
but
makes sense. Sadly, it
but
tracks.
it makes
Sadly tracks.
it makes sense. That's a bad. It does make sense. But damn, it don't make sense up here. That shouldn't be possible. How we what I'm saying. I I get it. We do have more billionaires, and yes, no one's preventing that from happening initially. But yeah, if the medium, which is the average of all of us, is still under, you know, our white counterparts or whatever by a large margin, it's not even like we're close. It's here and then here. That's a problem. Because then you can't even do the money talk thing because statistically we ain't there yet either.
Yeah, we still don't have net worth individually. Like the net worth of the black family is still, I think, on average, like a couple grand.
So
Whereas the net worth of white families in this country is somewhere like 60 or 70,000.
that's
So that's a huge difference.
I mean, I wonder how they got that. But yeah.
But
But that's why I said ain't much change because all the stuff that you just lied, unfortunately, I picked it apart. So it's like, yeah, it still feels the same to me at
well,
best.
the Klan is not coming to snatch you out of your house and lynch you on a tree.
Yeah, they are. They're just wearing blue. Sorry, too soon, too soon. But yeah,
I do not have a response to that, sir. Okay, do not have a response. All right. Um, and the next piece of this Blackity Black podcast today. Oh boy, we're talking about wealth. So we are part of the African diaspora. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger are launching their own bank. That is huge. Africa is the motherland of all things, of all people, not just us, all people. Right? For a Pangea split, Africa is the motherland of all things, but Africa has been notoriously raided and taken advantage of by you name what white country, they've done it. Nigeria is long since been a powerhouse. Lagos, Nigeria is a powerhouse. Other nations are now becoming powerhouses themselves. Burkina Faso is run by Mr. Ibrahim Traore. Protect that brother at all costs. Okay. He's also guaranteed electricity and water free for the elderly. This dude is coming in, kicking ass and taking names. And it's not a game. It is rumblings about, other governments trying to Patrice Lumumba him. I am fairly sure that will not happen.
mm,
The gold reserves. You go from 5 billion to 100 billion. There's been a wave of African countries kicking white countries the entire hell out. You run along now, run along. Um, America Kaka and true America Kaka Trump fashion, as we talked about, is going to be importing South Africans.
specific.
That's,
South Africa.
that's wild. That's just wild. That's just wild. But as I think that's a TikTok I sent you. Like, don't come over here thinking it's Cape Town, my guy. Don't come over here thinking it's Cape Town. It is not gonna go the way you think. It is not gonna go the way you think. We are not in servitude. Yeah. So don't come over here think you're gonna pull some goofy shit. It's gonna go even worse for you than where you were. Don't let the mango menace get your ass whooped. That's all we saying. That's all we that's all we saying. But and off slightly off topic because it was just funny. My boy in New York sent me this clip. It was this dude, white guy up in Harlem, and he was yachting and moaning about somebody didn't get his bacon, egg, and she didn't get his bagel right. And brother came from behind the counter, tapped him on the shoulder a couple times. Like, bro, you in Harlem. I gladly serve you, but I need you to be respectful. And it was one of those moments, and you gotta understand New York to understand where I'm coming from. He thought he was in Manhattan. No, dog, you in Harlem. Little different. Little different. Little different. You're not just in Manhattan. You in Harlem.
That's
Act accordingly.
that's yeah, so different.
you you might want to act accordingly, Chief. You not just did it. It's like I'm like, oh, he about to get duffed out. I don't know if he go. I don't know. He picked up what was getting put down real quick though, because he tapped Buddy right on the shoulder like, listen, I served you, but I need you to act correct. I'm like, oh, poor guy ain't gonna get it. Poor guy ain't gonna get it. Oh, he caught the vibe, but. So matter of fact, like, yeah, dear South Afrikaners, don't come here and yeah, it ain't gonna go that way. God put on the Marlowe voice. You want to be one way. It's the other way.
You see a chair get thrown up, you better run.
You want to be one way. It's the other way.
Black Avengers Assemble, boy. That chair go
Pretty
up by
much.
accident.
But I'm like, this is important. This is important because you see Africa coming together. Hey, we are part of the African diaspora. You know, we things start falling. Things start falling. And what I mean by falling is there's always been this notion that Africans don't like African Americans, da 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 da. Yo, some of that is bullshit and propaganda. And it's manufactured because I think everyone knows for real, the people who perpetrate the divide, they understand if we unite, we are the global majority. Like you toss around terms like minority because it makes you look like there's more of you than it is of us. No, if Africa and her children unite, y'all toast. It's really that simple. There are African countries now that pretty much are saying, hey, if y'all want to come home, come home. Sound like a plan. Sounds like a plan. The elements and the things you need to make the world go are found in Africa, and Africa's getting fed up with everything being taken from them. And I'm like, yeah, that like this, just protect these folks because you get these Western powers and the money and everything else starts getting interrupted, and you can start superseding the U.S. dollar and all of that BS. Well, that might not play too well. That may not play too well. But the old games of, well, we gonna put in these fake government leaders and cause dissension. That's going away. And I'm over here across the other side of across the Atlantic, just looking like, yeah, Africa's coming together, and that will be a problem for a lot of people. A lot of people. And when we get off of our BS and really come together, woo, buddy. I say this, whatever Trump and them boys gonna do, they better do it soon. Cause shit's changing. Just changing. And the goofball from South Africa, the king of goofballs from South Africa, Elon. Yeah, that ain't looking too good. But you know, man, where are your feelings on Africa and ultimately all of us uniting?
That would be great. Will it happen? Not so sure.
I mean, it's we didn't think it this far.
How far did we
You
get?
pretty much got Africans telling white folks get the fuck on.
Yeah, that's them. Like for their stuff, you said here and there unite, and we long ways from that. We can't even
Are we?
unite here. So yeah, we a long ways. We like I said, we gotta get our own house in order before we start, leaving or walking in and guess. So yeah, long ways to go on that one. But I would love to see it. I hope I'm wrong.
It's gonna take some time. And we gotta stop feeding into the division. Like I get what Tariq Nasheed is doing and making like, look, we FBAs, Foundational Black Americans for the phone, we are different than our African brothers and sisters, but that's okay.
Yeah,
You take what we know and what we have access to here and combine it with what's over there, we are a world power. It's really that simple.
like what happened? Too much, too much trauma there for two different reasons and the same reason. So we had to mend that bridge first, in house for both sides, and then come together to mend that trauma.
But
And it's generational. So it's a hard thing to break.
it is, but there's been a few, and I apologize for not knowing, there's been a few African countries that have said, hey, come home, that welcome us with open arms. And we're not the division can be broken like we do at this point after hundreds of years of being removed from our African traditions. We are uniquely American. We have a very unique experience in life, right? But I don't see Nigerians and think, oh, y'all so different than me. I understand the language and the connection to the land and history and culture is different. But ultimately, look, brother, you got a lot of melanin, and so do I. And we have a common enemy that has a vested interest in keeping us divided. I do think most people, I think every black person in this country, if you can, should do your genealogy. Get an idea where you're from, not just in this country, but where you're from. Find out your traditional customs and ideas, because it's like I'm not picking on it. But one of my issues with brothers that are just connected to Christianity, like you might want to do a little bit of research, a little bit of homework, a little bit of history to find out is that what you really are, or is that what you were given?
I mean, I'm giving it in Africa, so you could think the Crusades know that for that, but that's a whole nother different rabbit hole. But yeah, um, that sounds great. But you in the minority of that, because like I said, trauma on both sides for this different and the same reason. And like I said, yeah, there is powers that be that are invested in keeping the division going, and they're going to continue to do that. And we don't help because we kind of, like you said, the Tariq Nasheeds and all that, we kind of spearhead and put more gasoline in that fire instead of being like, all right, we're more, we're less different than we are alike. Shout out to Joe Butt. So yeah, if we can go on that notion, it's like, yeah, we're less different than we are alike. Yeah, we don't have to be alike, but we are still less different and still share somewhat of a common history and definitely the same origins. So
Hmm? I think
build on that.
I know it's a movie, but think about the last 5 minutes of the original Black Panther. You know, T'Challa was trying to find like T'Challa was telling Killmonger, look, we can heal you. There's another way. There's another way. Now, unfortunately, because Killmonger was so contaminated by his American upbringing, he thought that, hey, y'all just gonna, Kill me and throw me in jail forever? Nah, I'm good on that. I understand that, but the fact that you wouldn't even give your brother a chance, that's the fracture.
Did say one of the coldest lines ever. Like, throw me in the ocean with my ancestors. Because they knew that dying their way is better than living a life of bondage. You
Just now,
can't,
see,
that's a bar. Because that actually
yeah,
happened. That some of them jumped off the boat willingly just to avoid this. That's a bar.
and it's just and this is where you got to look at the American contamination because I'm like, bruh, you know this American system inside and out. You know this American system militarily inside and out. Their strategies, how they think, so on and so forth. Now take that knowledge and sit it with what T'Challa has access to. Just the thought of that would have been amazing. Like, and a T'Challa and Killmonger alliance, which is what T'Challa was ultimately trying to do, would have been a game changer.
Yeah, but you also you gotta be a little tricky because it's not just an Americanized thing that happened to him. Remember what happened to him when he was a kid. His pops got killed by the Wakanda, and they
Uh,
left him there by himself. They didn't come and bring. If they would have did the right thing and brought him with him after you offed his dad, it would be a different story. You off my dad and then leave me in the hood. There is also a disdain for y'all too. It's not even just I want to live like I'll. It's middle fingers to y'all too. Y'all off my pops and left me there. Even T'Challa was like, "Yo, you just left him there by himself." So yeah, like this is where a matter of perspectives and context comes in because it's not alliance because y'all wasn't trying to align with me when I needed you the most. You left me to the system. They created this monster. Actually, you created this monster. So now the chicken's coming home to roost, literally. I created that monster. All you had to, if you had to off his pops, fine. I understand he was doing some shit they shouldn't be doing. Cool. But you left his son there.
hmm. I
So nah, I'm sorry. I'm full Killmonger on that after knowing everything that happened. Once we see the full backstory, like
but T'Challa didn't know.
he fought.
Like T'Challa didn't know.
Yeah, but when you in that mindset of hate everything, like I said, when the water is boiling, can you see a reflection? No.
Like because and it doesn't get as much pub because that wasn't a big deal. But there was a lot of healing that happened in that movie because again, when T'Challa went up to see the Jabari, and M'Baku was like, "Yo, I'm good. We were not helping," and they had to piece that up. So it was a lot of opportunity for healing there, and it's not much different than reality in this case. There's a lot of opportunity for healing there. Our lived experience in this country under American imperialism and racism and everything that comes with that, and the things that our African brothers and sisters have suffered from the hands of capitalism and American imperialism and just the BS from other countries. Yeah, we come together. It's the equivalent of Killmonger and T'Challa. Metaphor that fits.
Well, when we were coming together, it's a metaphor that's still right there, but actually follow through.
Mhm. And let's take it from the motherland to the south. You just gotta smile. Shout out to the ancestors. So there was a mansion, pre-Civil War house in the Deep South, Louisiana's Nottoway Plantation. It's a real plantation. Now, I've had the interesting pleasure. It's one of those things as a northerner, it doesn't hit until you see it. I've driven through parts of Louisiana, parts of Mississippi, and I've seen like antebellum homes. And it's the weirdest thing. Like, and I've been meaning to do the homework on it. I just didn't want to look yet because I'm afraid it's gonna piss me off. They actually give tours and walkthroughs, and I'm like, why is this fascinating? Why is this remotely fascinating? Like, there were African souls here. I'm fairly sure some African women were violated, kids taken, people lynched. What is the fascination? Is this that weird shit that white folk do? Well, no, the Confederate flag represents our heritage.
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't understand. But well, the ancestors finally got fed up and said, you know what? Burn that shit down. Poof. Like, yeah, we cool. Poof, gone. It is gone. And I'm trying to see how it burned down, but honestly, I don't care. The ancestors have spoken. Poof,
I
be
have
gone,
spoken. But yeah.
be gone, and probably released the souls of Africans that suffered tortured there. You know, um, it's gone. It's gone, and the memes have been on exactly what you think. Oh my gosh.
Shout out the
The,
storm, man. Shout out the storm.
the memes have been exactly what you would think they would be. And then there are Caucasians with the audacity to be upset. Seriously? Th-
Oh, that's it. It is the history.
what you mad about is not a national landmark. It's literally a place where Africans suffered.
A landmark
But
for them.
it's our heritage. And this is why I look at Southern white folks like WTF sometimes. I,
Hey, man.
you're sitting in Texas trying to kick Mexicans out as if you didn't redraw the lines.
Hey, I mean, they keeping the bloodline pure. That's why it's messing up their mind. But yeah, I might have went over people's heads. But yeah, this is hey, shout out to Storm and Mother Nature. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, and speaking of which, but wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. Looks like the ancestors weren't done. Looks like the ancestors were not done. I'm just making sure I got this spelled properly. There we go. So uh, there was an antebellum, another Confederate house that was just recently also burned down. Actually, no, a tree fell through and destroyed it. So the
I
ancestors
am
must have saw
Groot.
that. My ancestors must have saw that tree. It was like, you know what? Bink.
Shout
Get that
out to
little
Groot. I am Groot.
get that little nudge. Get that little nudge. So Groot is a brother, apparently. That's what's up.
I am Groot.
Got destroyed. F your heritage. Because that's what it's our heritage. It's not racist, it's our heritage. Well, guess what? F your heritage. The ancestors have spoken.
I am
F
Groot.
your heritage. Groot apparently is a brother. That's what's up. That's what's up. And I'm like, Malcolm X's birthday, or would have been birthday, would have been 100 years old. Plantation burns, Confederate house destroyed. Still blackety black holiday if there ever was one. The only thing that could have been better is this happened on Juneteenth.
Still time. Something else to get.
And the fact that they are so bothered by this, like, it just says a lot. Why would you be okay? Okay. That's just wild. That is just wild. Let me guess, your heritage.
Yep.
I it's just a wild thing, but again, the ancestors have spoken. Enough of you. Enough of you. And all right, so we're gonna go overseas. This is wild. And somewhere Brittany Griner is probably really, really giddy. Jared Shaw. This man. So Jared Shaw is a basketball player and is playing in Indonesia. Well, is facing the possible death penalty in Indonesia after drug arrest. Dog. I, I, the former Utah State player, after arrested in Indonesia after allegedly attempting to smuggle illegal drugs into the country. So he was playing for their team, but was released after the arrest. But I'm like, they have, according to the AP, very strict anti-drug laws, and he's facing life in prison or execution by firing squad. He received a suspicious package from Thailand. I he's now been banned from playing in the Indonesian league for life. So there's that. He can't hoop over there anymore. He's a native of Dallas.
I think that's the
Played
last of
Oklahoma,
playing basketball.
and he didn't suck. He went to Utah State. He averaged 14 points and 8 rebounds a game, apparently. Um, but he played overseas, played in G League, so apparently he wasn't just quite enough to make the NBA or stay in the NBA. But this is wild. So I don't remember what Brittany Griner was facing, but I know it didn't include a firing squad.
No.
Dog, y'all gonna shoot bro over some drugs? Like, and I'm trying to get them out because I don't think it was bricks. He wasn't Frank Lucas importing bricks from overseas, yo. And they talking about life in prison or death by firing squad. Yo, that's more ridiculous than American drug laws.
Mm.
You got, and like I said, I am trying to see how much of what he brought in, but I am not getting anything. And again, unless it's like, I don't know, Frank Lucas weight, I can't see justification for life in prison or death, mind you.
Even the Frank Lucas way, death by firing squad of life, really. Even if he did have a plane
Yeah,
full of
that's
bricks,
about to say. Frank Lucas brought in planes full of coke, sir.
that's cool. That ain't worth life. Supply and demand. No drug addicts doing no drugs. You mad at
See,
me because y'all sell drugs legally. You just got a pharmacist hat or a doctor's hat. But when I do it, it's a problem.
because when the doctor does it, it is to relieve pain or for a medical condition. When you
Huh.
do it, it's just because you want to be high.
So people don't abuse the stuff that they get prescribed to, and then have a million side effects that end up with something worse than whatever they needed it for.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, wait. So found it. 132 pieces of Delta 9 THC cannabis candy. So basically, they gonna kill this dude over edibles.
Yes, it's weed too. That's
We really, really,
that's
really.
not funny. It's a serious situation, but yeah. See, if you're gonna kill somebody, basically, because either life in prison or firing squad, you still dead anyway. So if you're gonna do that in someone's life over
It better
weed,
be Frank Lucas weight.
that see, Frank Lucas, you got like a Frank Lucas level of fentanyl. All right, cool, fine. I can somewhat understand. I still won't understand, but I can somewhat understand. But a pen of weed, a weed pen. My life is over some weed. And yes, I understand every other country has laws. You should understand that and yada yada yada. But y'all gotta looking like understand that don't make no sense, bro. Like that is way too harsh for weed. Probably the most harmless drug you can freaking do at
It actually
all.
has it actually has medicinal purposes.
Right. So that's the most beneficial and harmless drug you can use. And I'm going to die over that for that. I understand every country has different rules, yada yada, ultra religious, blah blah blah. But at this point, we gotta stop looking at marijuana as a drug, bro. As a in the world, as a world collective. It's not that type of drug. The drugs you prescribe are more deadly than that. But hey, 'cause the fentanyl stuff came from, medical field and all that, painkillers and all that. And just people started to abuse it because they felt how it felt. So yeah, it's y'all fault. I know what y'all do.
That's wild. So, I forgot to add this to the list, but we got to touch it because this is just I can't even find the words to really describe the level of disgusting that this is.
What you talking about?
So, Georgia, in their divine, stupid, Republican ass wisdom, is literally holding a dead woman hostage.
Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah. Oh.
Adriana Smith is pretty much a prisoner of her own body. Because she had blood clots in the brain and was beyond a certain amount of time pregnant, she is literally being kept on life support to deliver the baby that she was pregnant with to term.
She's dead. She's not even on life support.
Oh no, well, she's being kept, functional.
I could have sworn it said that you sent me is that she's dead, like dead, dead.
No, she's brain dead.
Oh, well, so okay.
Consider which for all intents and purposes.
You are dead, but you're not dead. Okay.
So she is being kept alive, as in the most minimal sense of the word, because she happened to be pregnant. The level of disgusting that this is. And this is why, as a northerner, we look at the South with very copious amounts of what the fuck. So you have a pregnant person who is,
Gone.
and again, if you're brain dead, you're dead.
Yeah.
There's no. I saw a doctor write a report on this. There is no coming back. There is no. This isn't a coma. That's I think what a lot of people are confusing. This is not a coma.
It's not.
There is no way. If they take the machines away, she's gone.
Yeah.
And I think people are conflating these two and think, oh, it's just a coma. It's not a coma. You're not. You're all of your processes, going to
Gone.
the bathroom, breathing, everything is being controlled by machines at this point. So let's think about it. You have thousands of federal workers who have lost their job in an effort to cut waste. Bullshit, but it's an effort to cut waste, right? So how much is this going to cost the state?
Like if I'm the
How,
family, I'm not paying for that.
how much is this going to cost the state? Because this is a state decision, right? This is a state decision. This is the state of Georgia deciding that this fetus is you got to save it. I can never go to Atlanta again to be perfectly okay.
I
Like,
mean,
like
look,
I could. There's two states on the FU list. Georgia's one, Florida's the other.
I understand.
I'm really cool never spending money there. Really cool, never spending money
I'm
there.
with you with Florida. Atlanta, I probably was already there, but for different reasons. But yeah, just don't help.
If it ain't directly benefiting my folk and folk that think like us, I can perfect between Ahmaud Arbery and yeah, I'm good on Georgia. Good on Georgia. And that's saying something given where I actually live. Like that's saying something.
Yeah, the gentrification of Atlanta, that too.
Saw that too. Like, so I don't DC used to be called Chocolate City. I don't know if DC is still chocolate anymore, for real.
I know DC.
Atlanta, Atlanta is the Black Mecca, and it might not be much more.
That deep more. It's just the Mecca.
Right. So I'm like, Georgia, you are, and remember the trick about Ahmaud Arbery was they all were in on it. It wasn't like it happened on Monday and then the story broke on Wednesday. No, they sat on that.
Bounce.
What the WTF, Georgia? But
Georgia.
that's Georgia being Georgia.
Georgia.
But this Georgia being Georgia.
Hello, Georgie. Yeah.
It's just the level of disgusting that this is. The fa- I can and then the other side of that coin is like you said, you talking about who's going to take care of it. How does it make it to term?
I was talking about
Is
the
there
price.
some risk? Is some form of birth defect here? Like, what are the risks? Because the actual parent is nothing more than an incubator at this point. Hmm.
Or maybe the baby could. I don't know the type of machine in the middle, but I was more talking about the price. Who's covering the price of that? 'Cause from what you
The
said,
state has to be the state.
somebody said the family was pretty much like saying their goodbyes, and y'all was like, nah, they got a baby in her. She can't die.
This is disgusting. On every possible level, this is absolutely
She
disgusting.
gonna haunt the hell out of that. She gonna haunt the hell out of that hospital. I don't even
Like
blame
this is like, and I'm not even making light of it. Only this is like aliens. This is like having a face hugger, and you're just waiting for something to pop out. But in a much worse scenario.
her.
Like this is horrible.
I don't know. Getting something ripped through your stomach while you are alive. That sounds like a bad way to go.
I mean, I'm just this. Actually, strike the last 30 seconds from the record. I don't have a precedent. I have no level of comparison for this
There is none.
outside of how heinous it is.
I ain't never heard something like this. Someone who's pretty much medically dead, or literally dead, whatever you want to say, is being somewhat kept alive without no one's consent. The family, and obviously the person can't consent because, but family who is alive, and power has power of attorney. It's like, yeah, we accepted our peace and we're saying our goodbyes. Like, oh yeah, one more thing. Yeah, we gotta keep her alive until
And
baby.
you know the wild part? Because I'm thinking as a family member, I'm gonna go yank those machines out.
I'm unplugging this.
Yeah, here's the bad news. You're probably gonna get the death penalty
Wait, what?
because you're gonna call that murder.
Who?
You murdered the fetus.
Baby already dead
Baby's not dead.
in my eyes. Baby mom
Like
dead.
that's the wild part in all of this. Because I'm thinking I'm gonna go yank those machines out, and yeah, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
You gonna
But
charge
Georgia being Georgia, that'll be a murder charge.
the person's already dead, and the only reason
Fetus
the
isn't.
fetus, yeah, but the only reason the fetus is alive is because you're keeping the body alive, which is basically an empty body at this point. Where's the
You
murder?
you killed the fetus.
Fetus is already dead. If
The fetus is not dead.
without you, I understand. Technically, it's not because you're keeping the body. But unplug all the machines and do as the family wishes to be done. That baby will not live. It would have died with the mom in peace. But no, now you gotta see how do you even give birth to something that's already dead? I don't even want how that happens. Oh, this is how you get
And like
radical people, Will. Like you just creating monsters for real.
And I quote, the chances of there being a healthy newborn at the end of this is very, very small.
Right.
So you're not even going to get a help.
What is the point? I got, bro, y'all worry about the wrong shit. Y'all don't care about the lives of people who are already here. But y'all so concerned about a fucking fetus. That is irritating as hell. And I understand the reason because the white babies, you want more white people. I get it. But this person not even white. Care so much more about a fucking fetus or a dog or a cat, but you care less about people who are actually already here. Kids who are actually already here. Hypocrisy of this country, man. China
I-
dropping. Press the button. Russia press a button. Somebody press a button.
Canada looks better every day.
Canada got its own.
Canada,
But
Canada
yeah,
looks better. It ain't got these. It's not keeping a brained mother alive.
no, I got other issues.
I'll take what comes with Canada over like, are we seriously doing this?
Can I read this? Was it?
I can't.
It,
But
it says
I
Thanos was right. That's what it says. All I got to
I
say.
I typically argue that point with you. Yeah, this is not peak humanity at all. This is not peak humanity.
I got a dollar every time you said that. At this point, what is it? We this is not picky man. You say it about 5 times an episode, man. What you just gonna have to sip. We ain't nowhere near that, man. We need to evolve one more time. I don't know how that's gonna happen. We won't be around for it, obviously.
Okay, hold on, real quick without getting too far off track. We are at the point where we have robotic limbs. You could lose an arm and have it replaced, lose a leg and have it replaced. We can, we have cured, I don't know how many diseases that used to wipe people out.
I don't care. They should have wiped us out. This is my point. Name something that's an advancement that has nothing to do with technology.
I just did health.
It's tech.
You said technology, like the fact that cars can drive and park themselves, that's technological.
So medical field and technology don't have a hand in hand, huh? Okay, then stop. Name
Oh,
something that has nothing to do.
hold on. Technology makes life easier. Medical advances makes our lives, our quality of lives better. That's the difference. I don't care about a Tesla that can drive and park itself.
The
But the fact that
technology.
the fact that someone who lost a limb in a war can get a new limb and live a normal life, that's an advancement.
Technology. Everything you said is all technology. Name something that's social that makes us peak. Because the most important thing, I understand technology is a great thing and it's probably going to destroy us anyway, which is ironic. Besides the thing that's going to end up destroying us, name something social that has make us peak human. Because that is one of the most important things of our entire species. We are the most social creatures on the planet. So name something that's advanced in the social stem of our species. You can't.
I
It's been the
can,
same every time, if not getting worse.
I
There is
can.
no
You're just not gonna think it's a big deal,
what?
bro. This is because we're guys. We tend to forget this, but once upon a time, we burned women at the stake for being witches. Yeah, sounds silly, right? We finally figured out, oh, wait, women are not
Wait,
actually
wait.
witches. We don't have to burn them. So what? You don't think that counts as a social advancement?
For, for white people being brain dead, that's not making it advance.
Our societies have evolved. Our societies have
Technology.
evolved.
Technology.
No, I mean socially.
How?
Our societies have. Okay,
We're
so
social creatures already. That
just looking from here. We have evolved to where white men in hoods can't come snatch you out of your house and hang you
They
from a tree.
they just changed uniforms. Stop it. Stop. Stop. Stop with the coping. It's all technology. It's all technology. It's all technical. That's the stuff that yes, I agree. Technology's taking off. And it's going to kill us eventually. Fine. But socially, human to human, fuck the machines. What has changed? Where's the peak humanity? We still all suffering the same shit as we have been from way back yonder. There's still a class system that's been here since way back yonder that shouldn't exist if we were really in peak humanity right now. We still abiding by rules that were made by white men from hundreds of years ago. Where's the peakness? You talking about hip hop? Hip hop is older than both of us. We're about the same age. Actually, older than both of us. And you complain and say it hasn't changed and evolved. So
True.
all the stuff we complain about every freaking week hasn't changed. Everything that we praise is all technology, which is, in my case, making it worse for us as humanity because we're not evolving socially. It's making our social skills worse because everything is easier and we don't even have to deal with each other half the time. We're taking away our best asset. It's not peak humanity. It's a waste of space.
Okay. All right. I all right. I have a mission. I'll find something. Like
Keep trying to find something. You
we
can't.
we have evolved as a species, sir.
We haven't. We evolved with technology. Everything else is literally the same. Yeah. And you can't rebuttal it because everything you name is going to be something tied to technology. Start thinking socially, which is more of a natural thing that comes with us.
That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. You didn't like the example I gave you.
Gave technically. So we're not burning women on a stake. Instead, we're
And that,
keeping them alive when they should be dead to give birth.
you know what? All right, I'm waving the white flag on this one. Um,
Okay, you're not dying brutally. Now we just doing some unmoral stuff. And plus, there's still other countries that still beat, hang, and do all the women stuff too. Like we have the luxury of living in America where women have more rights than they do in other places. So yeah, the women hate ain't changed. We just not burning you in the stake. At least here. Probably other countries probably are. You might get stoned to death still. Actually, you still will. So yeah, some stuff hasn't changed. Getting stoned is still a thing. Yeah,
okay.
or flogged and stoned. That hasn't changed. Peak humanity. Yeah.
Yo,
Peak
you.
ass whooping. That's what it is. Peak ass. We at the peak of ass whoopings. That's where we at. New ways to whoop ass. Yeah. That peak.
This is not supposed to be funny. This is not supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, this isn't very peak humanity at all. I will find a way to find. I will find a way to show that we are peak. We are closer to peak humanity than we used to be, and we absolutely have evolved as a species. We just do some goofy stuff.
Goofy stuff. No, we passed goofy. This ain't Mickey Mouse. We passed goofy. Passed on him. It's some
Right.
Looney Tunes, but yeah.
Okay. So I'll run it back recap here. We're gonna touch it, but I'll save it for next week's pod because yeah, when we talked about they brought it up on Gills Arena. Shout out to the guys at Gills Arena, but OKC today versus the Durant Finals OKC, the Durant team that went to the Western Conference Finals OKC, or even went to the finals actually. And I'm like, that's a hell of a conversation because it's not. I immediately figured the Durant OKC team will win, but they got some serious liabilities on defense. Like Kendrick Perkins is not going to be shutting down Chet Holmgren and Hart. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. It would be a fun game to watch because they don't really have an answer for SGA. So yeah, that'll and Harden wasn't Harden yet. Houston Harden. Now we talking, you know, 2015 or 2012 OKC. Everybody at the height of their powers, like Golden State Durant, OKC Russ after Durant left, and Houston Harden. Oh, they getting watched. They getting watched. But that OKC team, where they were in their careers at that point, Russ was still a problem. KD was a problem.
He was a six
Harden was
man.
not the problem he became.
He was a 6 man a year. He was a problem. He just came off the bench.
Yeah, but you see 6 man. Like,
The next year, he went to Houston. He averaged 25. That's like he didn't change that much from 1 year to the other. One, he just
oh,
had more opportunity. That's all that changed.
because yeah, when they played, I think it was I forgot who they played in the finals, but Harden got cooked.
That was Miami.
It was it was LeBron. I knew it was LeBron. Just went Cleveland. Yeah, they put him on LeBron. He got cooked. It was bad. So it's
KD
an
was bad.
interesting conversation.
KD was bad for bad with LeBron in that final. Like I said, I understand it's cool to disrespect KD because Golden State, but KD was raw back then, and he's still the best OKC player ever. Let's not get it twisted.
It's early. SGA just getting started.
Nah, there's people already putting him in that conversation. Like
Yeah, we can't do that either. We can't do
that's
that
what I'm
either.
saying.
Like, because this is folks putting Brunson in best Nick ever conversations. Like, it's way too early, dog. Way too early. Is he having a hell of a playoff run? Yes. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Knicks. Go Knicks. And we really need that Knicks
Timberwolves.
that yeah that Knicks Minnesota finals. That's the only storyline left to watch. Because no one wants to watch Indy and OKC. I'm so sorry.
That's
No
a
one wants to watch that.
yeah, that's a wash. All right.
Like I will literally just watch the highlights on SportsCenter.
That's a
How
wash.
you go? I'm gonna watch the game. If we get an Indy OKC, I'm just gonna watch it. I'm just gonna watch the highlights of SportsCenter. Like Adam Silver is trying everything he can. If the NBA is rigged, Adam Silver's doing everything he can to make sure we do not get OKC Indy in the finals.
OKC Knicks would be cool. I still think the OKC is gonna wash, but yeah, I definitely want to see Timberwolves because the storyline of probably it's gonna look like
Right.
one of the greatest trades ever. That you traded basically one for one. Well, one got Dante, but and y'all both in the finals. That's crazy. I don't think
Right.
that's ever happened. Ever.
And the big bodega, come on now. And Jalen Big Body Brunson. I gotta say it like Kendrick Perkins. But okay, let's run back this recap. Starting from the top here. Um United Healthcare just made it extremely hard for the state of New York to get a conviction against Luigi. They just made that extremely hard. They're tainting the jury pool themselves. Um, Shout out to Malcolm X. Would have been 100. Man, wish he was still here. Um, it is awesome to see Africa coming together. I think it's cool and it's being quote unquote allowed. The moment they reach across the pond and we really connect Africa to the diaspora, and we line up again. We do what Killmonger and T'Challa couldn't and connect. Oh my, that's gonna be something. That's gonna be something. And Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have their own bank. That is huge. So at this point, just watch out for the sabotage. The African nations know what's up. Watch out for the sabotage. They ain't gonna send Agent Ross to do it. They gonna send somebody that look like y'all. They ain't gonna send Agent Ross. They gonna send somebody that look like y'all. Hope y'all get the Black Panther reference.
Mm,
um,
Bars.
protect Ibrahim Traore at all costs. This brother is doing things the right way, and Burkina Faso is going to going to reap the benefits of everything he's doing. So please protect his brother at all costs. But something tells me I think you got it covered. You got a military. I think you got it covered. Like I don't even know what this dude looked like out of military fatigues. Every picture is of him in fatigues. So but he with the shits. Dear CIA, don't find out the hard way. Just saying. Don't find out the hard way. I got the suspicion he's with the shits. Um, Shout out to the ancestors. We got an antebellum house get burned down. Got a Confederate house getting knocked over by a tree. Shout out to the ancestors. We see you. We see you. We see you. The ancestors have finally had enough of that. And again, just look online. The memes. It is a treasure trove. It is priceless. Jared Shaw. Damn, dog, getting killed over edibles, it just seems. I, I have no words. Like that's worse than Nixon and Reagan in politics, and like I have no words, bro. Like life in prison or firing squad because of edibles. Seriously, we doing this? Amnesty International needs to step in. Like you can't kill somebody over weed, dog. It's a plan, like legit plan. But strange things happen. And we didn't really dive deep into it, but new OKC versus old OKC. I actually just without deep diving, I think this team win. Hardenstein, SGA, the tip of the spear. Dort, like they got a defensive specialist to put on Russ. Like I think in a 7 game series, I got new OKC probably taking that 4-2. Your recap, sir.
I ain't got my phone on me, so I don't even remember what we talked about. Shout out to Ancestor. Shout out to Storm. Shout out to Groot. I am Groot. Uh, what else? Not shout out to Georgia. Ancestors, do you think? Or Storm, somebody. Or Punisher.
And
Hey,
United Healthcare, sir.
or Punisher. No, uh, United Healthcare. Uh, I'm not surprised. Y'all all crooked somehow. I know you are. But hey, hopefully it does help Luigi. I am rooting for it.
Wow. You're cheering for a possible murderer, sir.
I mean, you cheer for your politicians and they murder people. Cheer for your you wear the Blue Lives Matter and they murder people. You cheer for the Confederate flag and you already know it's a bunch of blood on that. That's why it's red. Hey, hey, you cheer for Jeffrey Dahmer. He literally murdered people. So nah, I'm joining the club. Hey, mine just for one person. Y'all often people putting people in containers and he got like 10,000 TV shows. How is that possible? But that it. I missed
Yeah.
something.
Oh, lastly, I forgot. F you, Georgia. This is disgusting. F you, Georgia.
I approve that message.
Well, on that note, on behalf of myself, my amazing co-host, and the Yeah City podcast, we'll be back. Same bad time, same bad channel. Again, like, share, subscribe. Peace.
Yeah.